The start of a new week has seen Melburnians enjoying a few of the things we may once have taken for granted after some of the city's lockdown rules were relaxed last night. In a slight increase from yesterday, 4 new COVID cases have been recorded, but the 14-day average is again heading down. Here's state political reporter Bridget Rollison.
Midnight. Yes. Welcome.
As the clock struck 12, Melburnians stayed up late, eager to tame their lockdown locks.
Before this, I was rolling with a mullet.
Hairdressers were thrilled to finally be back on the tools.
I started jumping from my house, from the other side to the other end, and it was so overjoyed.
Tennis courts were overrun and kids were back at the skate park the second the barriers were taken down. Golfers were also glad to be back on the green.
Good to be back outside doing something again.
But Seaford business owner Lorraine Puller is yet to feel any relief. Her shoe shop is still banned from opening for another 2 weeks.
Very disappointed and quite anxious. We've got rents to pay, you've got outgoings to pay.
There was 1 new death in Victoria and 4 new cases. 3 of those people are from the same household in the Hume Shire and 1 from Moonee Valley who previously tested positive in July. Melbourne's 14-day average has dropped to 7.2, but there are still 15 cases with unknown origins. The opposition's calling on the Premier to reopen pubs for this weekend's AFL Grand Final to avoid illegal gatherings at home.
If you tell people you can't watch the footy with any friends under any circumstances, I suspect some people will break the rules, and that is the last thing we want to see in Victoria.
Some infectious disease experts have questioned the rationale behind Melbourne's new 25-kilometre travel limit. The Premier claims it's necessary to stop large groups of people flooding to popular places like the Mornington Peninsula or Thousand Steps, but he says it won't be around much longer.
I think probably in a couple of weeks' time we're able to take that away. Might even be earlier.
If you're worried about crowding, that you could manage crowding rather than trying to check every Melburnian to see if they were within their 25-kilometre radius.
Today's busier road showed people were making the most of those extra freedoms. Bridget Rollison, ABC News, Melbourne.
Life's looking a little different in regional Victoria too, with hospitality venues accepting more customers and the return of indoor sports. And a loosening of the rules around home visits has meant many families have been able to ditch the Zoom calls in favour of some face-to-face conversation. Stephen Schubert reports.
Hi. Hey, Nashi. Hey, Charlotte.
For Nikita Renwood's daughter Zara, today was a good day.
Having friends over at her own home with her own toys is just so important.
After being restricted to a bubble involving just one other family, the announcement 2 people can visit any other home was music to her ears.
I was on my phone straight away texting some friends and family saying we'll catch up, so we have a busy schedule for this week.
But while families and friends in regional Victoria are renewing acquaintances, the ring of steel separating Melbourne from the rest of the state remains in place, much to the chagrin of tourism operators like the Beacon Resort in Queenscliff.
We've had to cancel 80% of our bookings for this upcoming long weekend, predominantly because they were all from metropolitan Melbourne.
In their peak season, they employ 60 people. Now they've got 30 staff surviving on JobKeeper, and they're demanding to know when they can welcome Melburnians again.
Melbourne Cup looks good in theory. We're pretty much fully booked. However, again, 80% of those are from metropolitan Melbourne, so that's all dependent on what happens in the next couple of weeks.
But the Premier wasn't offering any insight today.
There'll come a time when you can have that if you like, discretionary trip, see family, see friends, all that. Go and spend money in wonderful tourism locations, but that isn't yet.
In Shepparton, the latest round of changes have been paused for a week to ensure an outbreak there is contained. The Lemon Tree Cafe was preparing to double its capacity today, only to be told they'd need to wait.
It's disappointing but quite understandable as well. And like I said, it's only a week, so I think our patience is pretty good here.
More than 6,000 tests have now been carried out since 3 people tested positive last week. They've all come back negative. Stephen Schubert, ABC News.